Right now on Good Morning America, first look, snow and ice causing widespread travel disruptions this morning. Nearly 24 states impacted.
Growing fallout after that second U.S. airstrike on a boat allegedly carrying drug smugglers. Accusations the strike was a war crime. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth now defending a top admiral. Hegseth also posting this meme with a children's book character. The publisher now speaking out.
Accused CEO killer Luigi Mangione smiling in court as his lawyers fight to get key evidence against him thrown out. Our legal expert explains how this could play out.
Questions about why a college student near Boston flying home to see her parents in Texas was deported to Honduras.
Shackles around her ankles, shackles around her wrists, shackles around her waist like she's a murder suspect.
What we're learning about her case.
New research on the health risks associated with giving kids of a certain age a smartphone.
Our exclusive one-on-one with the woman crowned Miss Universe after standing up to a pageant official who called her dumb.
Later, the kick on Monday Night Football was more of a stub toe.
And hear from the man who wore 137 shirts running this half marathon.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Hannah Battah. We begin with another blast of winter-like weather from the Midwest to the Northeast.
Snow and ice are causing widespread travel disruptions. At least 22 states are under weather alerts, including New Jersey, where a state of emergency takes effect this morning. This morning, a powerful cross-country storm is slamming millions before making its way to the Northeast. Heavy snow making for treacherous travel on the roads. Drivers in Chicago digging out.
Keep cautious because there's skies spinning out.
In Oklahoma, freezing rain and ice contributing to more than 350 crashes and at least 3 deaths. Multiple vehicles flipping upside down. This truck carrying diesel fuel crashing and landing on its side. The weather also snarling air travel with thousands of delays and cancellations post-Thanksgiving.
I'm trying to leave since Saturday, but all flights were canceling.
In the Northeast, crews are gearing up with salt trucks and plows, bracing for heavy snow expected to hit during rush hour in Pittsburgh this morning. 3 to 6 inches of snow are expected across the Ohio Valley, but up to a foot could fall across interior sections of Pennsylvania, New York, and up to Maine. The storm brings rain for the big cities along the I-95 corridor, from D.C. to New York City and Boston. And more than 75 million people are under winter weather alerts from the plains to the Northeast.
New fallout from the second U.S. strike on a boat allegedly carrying drugs in the Caribbean. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth now defending the Navy admiral who carried out the attack amid accusations that it might have been a war crime. It's a strike Hegseth previously acknowledged watching live. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
This morning, new questions about that second boat strike off the coast of Venezuela in September, targeting suspected drug traffickers. The Pentagon facing accusations of a war crime. According to the Washington Post, a second missile was targeting 2 survivors clinging to the wreckage. The White House now under fire, with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle citing international law that prohibits killing enemy combatants who no longer pose a threat.
What imminent threat would 2 survivors pose who were clinging presumably to the wreckage of that boat?
Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law.
The White House press secretary dodging a question about those survivors, but confirming there was more than one strike, authorized by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and carried out by the mission's commander, Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley.
Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated.
This comes after the president initially said he knew nothing about a second strike.
But Pete said that didn't happen.
Lawmakers in the House and Senate now launching investigations.
We're going to find out what the true facts are.
Last night, Hegseth distancing himself, suggesting any second strike was Admiral Bradley's decision, writing, "Let's make one thing crystal clear. Admiral Mitch Bradley is an American hero, a true professional, and has my 100% support." Hegseth also facing backlash for this post, showing a meme of the character Franklin the Turtle firing at boats from a chopper.
This is serious business. I mean, even if it's justified, even if it's right, seriously, you're killing people. And this is your response to tweet out some joke about a cartoon turtle.
The publisher weighing in, saying Franklin stands for kindness, empathy, and inclusivity. The next step in this controversy comes Thursday when Admiral Bradley is expected to brief lawmakers on Capitol Hill about those airstrikes. While the White House is defending the September strikes, we should note by mid-October, when another suspected drug boat was hit, their survivors were rescued and returned to their home countries. Hannah, Sophie.
Lionel, thank you. Well, it's a landmark day in the push for peace in Ukraine. A U.S. envoy is meeting with Vladimir Putin in Moscow. ABC's Perry Russum has the details. Hey, Perry, good morning.
Sophie, good morning to you. President Trump's lead negotiator, Steve Witkoff, is presenting Putin with a revised peace proposal supported by the U.S. Officials tweaking the deal after talks with Ukraine and criticism of the original draft being a Russian wish list. The key question remains, is Putin ready to make concessions? The Kremlin has demanded Ukraine surrender territory and not be allowed to join NATO. Ukraine has rejected those conditions. Putin yesterday appearing in military fatigues to boast about Russian advances on the battlefield, a calculated show of force that hardly paints a picture of a leader who is seeking peace. Ukrainian President Zelensky says the biggest obstacle to peace right now is what Ukraine's borders will look like in the future. Sophie.
Perry, thank you. Accused healthcare CEO killer Luigi Mangione returns to court in New York today. His lawyers are fighting to get critical evidence thrown out. They say officers failed to read Mangione his rights and searched his bag without a warrant. Police say that bag contained a notebook detailing his motive in addition to the murder weapon.
When we look at the arguments in this case, both sides have equally credible arguments. We find that the defense is alleging a constitutional violation, and we know that the court is very strict about that. And if you do violate someone's constitutional rights, it is highly likely that the evidence will be thrown out. The prosecution also has a very solid argument in the idea that this was exigent circumstances. This was something that had to be addressed immediately and urgently because of the potential danger to others in the public.
A corrections officer testified Mangione discussed having a 3D printed gun. The hearing could last 6 more days. Mangione has pleaded not guilty.
New research this morning about smartphones and kids and the potential health risks of giving a young child a phone.
It's a question so many parents face. How old should your child be before getting them a smartphone? Now, a study in the journal Pediatrics finds children who had a smartphone before the age of 12 were at a higher risk for depression, obesity, and insufficient sleep than those who did not yet have one. Researchers also finding the younger a child is when they get a smartphone, the higher their risk for developing those issues.
Most kids by age 12 already had a smartphone. The median age was 11. The kids with having a smartphone overall was associated with worse outcomes.
While researchers stop short of recommending a specific age for phone readiness, doctors say the decision comes down to weighing the benefits of a phone against a child's maturity and level of responsibility.
We need to be thinking about their health, online exposure, potential addictive behavior, and how owning a smartphone might affect their long-term health.
A smartphone does have its benefits, such as increased connectivity and access to information. But doctors say parents should impose rules to limit potential harm, like no phones at dinner or at bedtime, and make sure kids still take part in activities not requiring phones.
We want less devices, less screens, more childhood.
Researchers urge parents to talk to their child's doctor to determine when they're ready for a phone.
Well, there was another Powerball drawing overnight and still no jackpot winner. The game's grand prize has been growing for 3 months. Tomorrow night's drawing will now be worth at least $775 million. And time now for your Tuesday weather.
Good morning. Winter weather alerts from the Ohio Valley and Appalachia and also into New England. Some of the heaviest snows, Catskills into the mountains of New England. Heavy rain and thunderstorms along the coast. Snow in the interior, soaking the I-95 corridor midday into the early evening hours. Still some snow lasting into the evening interior New England. We can see over 6 inches from northeast Pennsylvania into central and northern New England. Quieter in the Great Lakes. Some snow dropping into the Rockies. Quiet in the southwest. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, how Amazon is speeding up deliveries.
But first, a college student near Boston is deported while trying to fly to Texas to see her parents.
And a husband on trial for murder. His surprise explanation for his wife's death. Back now with thieves breaking through the window of this high-end boutique in New York City's Soho neighborhood, stealing nearly $2 million in merchandise. Many of the items were one of a kind, making them easier to track if they're posted online.
A college freshman near Boston is now in Honduras after being deported in violation of a court order. That's according to her lawyer. 19-year-old Annie Bellozo is at Boston's Logan Airport about to fly to Texas to see her parents. But her lawyer says she was detained by immigration authorities, sent to Texas, then to Honduras, all within 2 days.
They detained a college student flying home for a Thanksgiving break and chained her up and shipped her off to Honduras within maybe 30 hours of her detention. Shackles around her ankles, shackles around her wrists, shackles around her waist like she's a murder suspect.
He claims Annie did not know about a removal order against her from 2015, which immigration agents cited before her arrest, but court papers show a judge ordered her not to be removed from Massachusetts.
Now to the trial of a Massachusetts man charged with murdering his wife and a surprise explanation from the defense. For the first time, attorneys for Brian Walsh are offering an explanation for his wife Anna's death nearly 3 years ago in their home south of Boston. They say she fell victim to so-called sudden unexplained death.
You will hear evidence that it happens in young people and old people. You will hear evidence it happens in male and female. You will hear evidence it happens during the day and during the night.
Walsh publicly acknowledged his wife's death last month when he pleaded guilty to dismembering and dumping her body. But his defense team maintains he did not kill her. In opening statements yesterday, they said after celebrating New Year's with her, Walsh found his wife dead in bed on January 1st, 2023.
He nudged Anna, his wife. She didn't respond. He nudged her again, a little harder. She didn't respond.
The defense says when Walsh found his wife dead, he thought no one would believe he had nothing to do with it and was worried about what might happen to his 3 children if people thought he had killed her. But prosecutors say they'll prove Walsh murdered his wife, claiming he was motivated by her multi-million-dollar life insurance policy and the belief she was having an affair. Investigators say Walsh searched the internet for answers to questions like best way to dispose of a body, can you throw away body parts, and is it possible to clean DNA off a knife?
Use your common sense. Don't leave it home.
But Walsh's team denies those allegations and claims he was not upset about the affair. The man with whom Anna was allegedly having the affair is expected to testify this week.
And today, jurors will see evidence from digital devices. Coming up, Costco suing over tariffs.
Also ahead, a new legal fight between 50 Cent and Sean Diddy Combs as a Netflix series drops today. You'll see the video at the center of the dispute. This morning, Costco is the latest company to sue over President Trump's tariff policies. The Supreme Court is expected to rule early next year on whether Trump's tariffs are legal, but Costco is suing right now, trying to make sure it receives tariff refunds if the court rules against Trump. And Amazon is testing an ultra-fast delivery service of under 30 minutes for groceries and household essentials. The service is called Amazon Now and will be tested first in parts of Seattle and Philadelphia.
Now to a new legal fight between 50 Cent and Sean Diddy Combs.
Overnight, lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs trying to stop the release of a Netflix docuseries due out today.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
The series contains never-before-seen footage of Combs debating strategy with his lawyers in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
It also includes video of Combs greeting fans in Harlem.
I'll accept it.
And then saying this about the interaction moments later.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh. It's like 150 hugs.
Now Combs' lawyers are demanding Netflix pull the series, threatening legal action, claiming Netflix is using stolen footage that was never authorized for release as part of what they call a shameful hit piece. The series is executive produced by Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alex Stapleton, who said, quote, "We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights," end quote. Before the cease and desist demand was sent yesterday, Stapleton and Jackson sat down with our Robin Roberts to discuss the series.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this.
Combs is serving 4 years in prison on prostitution-related charges.
Coming up, the best deals on this Travel Tuesday.
Plus, you've heard of butt fumble, but was this play on Monday Night Football even worse?
Time to check the pulse, and we begin with Monday Night Football.
Yeah, so the Giants might have added injury to insult. Yeah, sure, the Patriots handed them their 11th loss of the season, but that wasn't nearly as embarrassing as this moment when their kicker went for a field goal and ended up kicking the ground instead of the ball.
Yeah, Patriots fans were having a field day online, saying it was as bad as Charlie Brown's attempt. Of course, in his case, Lucy pulled the ball away. The big highlight last night, a 94-yard punt return by the Patriots, who've won 10 straight games.
Next, it's Travel Tuesday. Time to think about your next getaway.
Yes, and we found lots of deals. For one day only, Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines are offering buy one, get one free deals to select destinations. If you travel by rail, Amtrak is offering up to 25% off several routes for trips after January. And Hotels.com and Expedia have sales offering up to 75% off. A 500-pound bear has made itself comfortable under this home in Southern California. The homeowner set up a camera calling it unnerving. Officials are considering how to remove it.
And finally, David Rush is the new world record holder for running a half marathon in the most T-shirts. He wore 137 of them, weighing a total of 48 pounds.
And Rush owns the most Guinness World Records of anyone. Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, voters in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District head to the polls for a special election today. It's a deep red district, but the Democrat has narrowed the race. President Trump took part in a tele-rally for the Republican candidate last night.
The Trump administration facing bipartisan demands for answers about a September attack on a suspected drug boat near Venezuela. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says he supports the Navy admiral identified as the person who made that call to fire a second missile, which allegedly killed 2 survivors.
The new football coach at LSU, Lane Kiffin, says angry Ole Miss fans tried to run him off the road after he announced he was leaving the school. Kiffin's contract at LSU pays him $13 million.
Today's weather, a new storm bringing snow from the northwest to the northern plains. On the east coast, up to a foot of snow is possible from western New York all the way to Maine. Rain for the I-95 corridor.
And finally, on the road again.
Danny New reports on a woman and her rescue goat.
That's a cute picture.
How many goats can say they floated through the sky in a hot air balloon? Hi, Little Leaf.
Do you hear her?
Hi. For nearly 6 years now, Kate Cloud and her best pal, Little Leaf, have been traveling the country together.
Can you see what's over there?
From sailing on a 200-year-old ship in Georgia.
Pretty neat. Yeah.
To hiking near Red Rocks in Colorado.
I always felt bad, like leaving her behind. So I just started asking in all these different situations and things I wanted to do if I could just bring her with me.
Kate and Little Leaf's journey started on a Washington goat farm where she was renting a room not so long after her daughter went off to college.
Once you're a parent and your kids move out and stuff, there is this weird void and you get so used to taking care of something.
In 2020, Kate says Little Leaf was born and was the runt of the litter. Her mother was rejecting her, and due to malnutrition, the vet said Little Leaf only had a 10% chance of survival.
They're like, it's just too much work and it'd be too much effort. We don't have the staff. And I was like, well, show me how to do it.
So Kate says she nursed her to full health herself, and then their adventure began.
Do them dolphins go?
More than half a decade later, Kate and Little Leaf have been to 41 states together, even taking time to pass out hundreds of blankets to victims of Hurricane Ian in Florida.
She made so many people happy. We handed out over 800 wool blankets, and I mean, it was chaos I've never seen before.
Now on their current trip, Kate is hoping to knock off the remaining 7 states in the contiguous U.S., and then, who knows?
Life's too short. You never know, so why not play with a goat? Travel the country with a goat.
And guys, at some point, Kate said she wants to also start a goat rescue and maybe even include miniature horses and donkeys as well. Not sure how they would get in a hot air balloon, though.
And that's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great day.